What's up, YouTube? James here, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about my newest project, my Salvage Bentley. Yes, I said Bentley. So the other day while working on my rat rod truck, I started thinking, man, I need another project. No, I really don't need another project, but for some reason, I'd like to have another one. So I started thinking about the different kind of cars that I could get. Should it be something old? Should it be something new? Should it be something late model, like a collision or something that I could fix and I could sell? I wasn't quite sure what I wanted, but I had a few ideas. And one of them was maybe possibly a newer model car. So I decided to go on the local salvage auction website and check out and see what they had in their listing. While scrolling through the listings, I saw they actually had a 2006 Bentley Continental Flying Spur for sale. Now, I had been eyeballing these cars for several years after seeing them at Cars and Coffee, many car shows, even the Barrett-Jackson, and just seeing them ride around on my trips to Hollywood and also my trips to Las Vegas. I've always kind of been intrigued by the way these cars look, their styling, and their class, especially on the interior. Now, most of you are not familiar with my history of salvage vehicles, but I have actually been purchasing salvage vehicles and repairing them for a little over 15 years now. I've repaired several late model cars with roof damage, collision damage, even fire damage. So I'm pretty familiar with how these salvage auctions work. Plus, I'm also familiar with the higher end cars such as the Corvette. These things can be pretty complicated to fix when they're wrecked or salvaged. I've managed to learn a lot by doing this kind of work. So as you can see, this car is listed as other damage, secondary electrical. It also says that it does not run. With these salvage cars, that could be anything. It could be just something as simple as a few batteries or an engine blown. You just won't know unless you go see it in person. So that's exactly what I did. I took a trip down to the local salvage auction to check out this car firsthand before I decided I was going to make a bid. Bentley Continental Flying Spur 2006. Man, check out this interior. So after taking a good look at the Bentley and its condition, I had to make a decision. What would my max bid be? Do I want to get into a bidding war with somebody else? I knew about how much these things were supposed to go for, so I kind of had a number in mind. But we just have to wait until the auction plays out to see what it would actually go for. So the next day is auction day, and I patiently await for the Bentley to cross the auction block. So it shows up, I place my bid, and what do you know? I'm the high bidder. Alright, so we in Old Red, the old rollback, headed on down to the auction to pick up this Bentley, and pretty excited to pick it up. I think I can get it running. We'll just have to get it back to the house and kind of go from there and go over it and really take a good look and see. I know it said electrical issues. That could be anything. It could be fuses, relays. I'm thinking personally it's the batteries, but we'll just have to wait and see. So we got her home. Here she is up on Old Red. And what I'm gonna do is, I'll come out here tomorrow and I'm gonna remove this front bumper cover so I don't tear it up, because as you can see, it's kind of low to the ground. This is already kind of hanging and it's already busted. I don't want to do any more damage than already is done, so I can go ahead and fix that. But as you can see, for the most part, it's in good shape. It does have some key marks on the hood there. It's got a key mark on the doors. It's got a key mark on the quarter panel. Nothing that I can't fix. That and the front bumper damage. But we got to try to see if we can get this thing running. They said it's electrical issues. It's got batteries that are real weak. I'm gonna put 2 fresh brand new batteries in it, and we'll just kind of go from there. Check out that leather. Look at the door panels. Look at the wood grain. It's crazy, ain't it? Some of you guys are probably thinking to yourselves, like, man, there's no way I would attempt to work on a Bentley. Well, I don't really have much of a choice. It's my car now. I have to do something with it. I'm definitely not going to pay anybody to do it. Through all my years of working on cars, I've kind of felt a little intimidated with a few projects, but that didn't stop me from going ahead and trying to attempt it. This project will be no different. Okay, so as you can see, I got it on the ground. Had a few technical difficulties with it, getting it off the rollback. The electronic parking brake was stuck. I finally got it to release. You know, one of those problems that you have when you have these cars that have these complicated electrical systems. And as you can see, I got it off without messing up the front bumper any further. I just used some blocks and made me some ramps so I can get it off. Didn't really feel like wasting the time. You know, taking off the front bumper cover right now. It's eventually going to have to come out to get fixed. But here's the first shot of it on the ground. And check this out. Let's see if I can get it to do it. Now, how sweet is that? So, as you can see, this thing has two batteries. This one right here is the primary battery. It pretty much runs everything in the car. And this one over here, and this is actually your start battery. Well, this car's been sitting at auction for 3 months, so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to figure out if these batteries are any good, possibly replace them. But what I'm gonna try to do first is I'm gonna try to jump this thing off. But before we do that, check this out. Now, how sweet is that? Alright, as you can see, we got the jumper box on there, so let's go see if we can try to get this thing to start. Okay, after multiple attempts trying to get this thing to start, it just will not start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the battery out on the start side. I'm going to try to throw a charge to it, test it out, and we'll go from there. Alright, so we have the start battery here. We're going to actually hook up the voltmeter and see how dead this battery actually is. Okay, so it's showing 12.2. That's not really where we want to be. We want to be around 12.8, 12.7, somewhere around in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this battery and put it on the charger for a few hours, and we'll see if it can hold a charge. As you can see, it is actually taking a charge. That's a good sign that the battery might be okay. But we'll let it sit out here for 3 or 4 hours on the charger, and then I'll come back and check it. If it's good from there, we'll try to hook it back up. If not, we'll go ahead and buy a replacement. So since we have the start battery on the charger, let's just go ahead and check the primary battery and see what the voltage is showing on it. .242 volts. That actually might show me that there might be another problem somewhere else. I might have to do a voltage drop test on this, but we won't know until later. Once I get the other battery off the charger, I'll disconnect this one and get this one on the charger. I got the left side main battery out of the car. And when we hook up the voltmeter, only showing 1.07 volts. The best bet is just to go ahead and replace it. So I got the brand new replacement here. And one thing that you definitely want to check, I like to check it with any batteries, but definitely on these AGM batteries, you want to make sure they haven't been sitting on the shelf for a long period of time. I like to get one that maybe at the most has a date of possibly 2 months back. This one's actually less than a month old, but I do like to check them to make sure that they are fully charged before I put them in the car. And we're showing 12.69, which is really good. We're going to go ahead and install this in the car and go from there. Well, this is what you got to do when it's raining. And you got to put a battery in. Alright, so we got our new main battery in over here on the left. And we got our recharged start battery in over here on the right. So what we're going to do is go in there and put the key in and see if this thing will actually crank up. Well, that's a good sign. Radio came on. Let's see if she'll start up. Well, she's acting like she wants to start, but she won't start. At least she's kind of hitting now. Okay, so I think I figured out why this thing won't start. So, as you saw, this thing was listed as other damage, secondary was electrical, down at the auction. This car was vandalized. As you can see, we got the scratches down the door, scratches across the hood. You got a scratch back here on the quarter. And I actually just noticed I got some scratches here on the taillights. So I kept getting information warnings on the dash talking about add fuel, load fuel. So I come over here and was going to actually add some fuel in. But take a look at this. When I unscrew this gas cap, check that out right there. Somebody has dumped sugar in the gas tank. Now this might not be too big of a deal. I can probably go in there and clean the fuel tank out, clean the socks on the fuel pumps, put a new fuel filter in there, flush the line in between the fuel filter and the tank, and I think that will solve our problem. So what I'm actually going to do before I decide I'm going to drop the tank, I'm going to go in here and remove the carpet out of the bottom of the trunk. There's 2 access ports that will allow me access to the fuel pumps themselves. And then I can inspect and see where I need to go from there. There's not that much gas in this car. The needle is only showing maybe 1/8 of a tank, so that's kind of good. That's going to save us a lot of time and effort of trying to get all that old gas out of there. Tearing out all these panels was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. But there you can see the 2 access holes for the fuel pumps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start over here on the right. I'm going to take that cover off right there, disconnect the electrical connection. Then there should be a snap ring, and I should be able to pull the pump straight up, and then I can actually see down in the tank and see what's going on. I got the fuel pump module out, and as you can see, it looks pretty good down in there. I actually don't see any sugar in there. I didn't have any sugar in the pump, and it actually looks really clean. So maybe what we saw was just confined to the cap area. I'm going to clean that out and flush it. So I got the tank clean, and I got a new fuel filter put on. But let me show you something. I want to show you what I got out of this fuel filter that came off of here. This is what came out of the fuel filter. As you can see, there's 2 layers. Now, usually gasoline will float on top of water. I'm not sure if that's water or what it is. If that is water, that's not going to let the car run. That's just not going to burn. So luckily we got that out of there, and we got everything out of the fuel tank. So now I'm going to put some fresh 93 octane in there, and we're going to see if we can get this thing to run. And here's what we actually got out of the tank. You can see there's a little bit down there in the bottom. Looks like that might be water possibly. In this other jug you can see I got quite a bit. And like I said, we're going to put some fresh gas in there, and we're going to go from there and see if we can get this thing to start.